gotta give in Cincy tonight. Ready? Come on and get ready. I mean, really ready. Are you ready for some football? A Monday night party. This is Hank and I'm ready. Let's get this picture started. Let's paint this town and do it up right. All my rowdy friends are here on Monday night.
65,000 strong along the banks of the Ohio River. Paul Brown Stadium, Cincinnati, sold out for the 2-5 Bengals. Team that swept the Steelers last year. Mike Tomlin's team with a win will tie Baltimore at the halfway point of this 2010 AFC North campaign. And Marvin Lewis trying to climb out of that cellar Cincinnati finds itself in. Marvin, the reigning coach of the year in the National Football League in the final year of his contract. To see Polamalu and the Steeler defense go up against his former USC buddy Carson Palmer and the Bengals. Pittsburgh won the toss, deferred the option to the second half. The Cincinnati will receive. Wind not a big factor in the 18-12 win by Cincinnati last year. A Jeff Reed kickoff was returned the distance by Bernard Scott of the Bengals. Scott is back deep to receive for Cincy as we're set to go.
Mike, you mentioned that kickoff a year ago. I believe special teams could be the difference tonight.
Off we go from Cincinnati. And Scott takes the kickoff from the 6. Eludes one tackle, lost the football at the 25. And the Steelers, Jason Worlds is on it and recovers. So the rookie out of Virginia Tech, Worlds, comes up with it as it was knocked out by Emmanuel Sanders of the Steelers.
This has been the problem for the Cincinnati Bengals all season long. The turnovers, they're never good, but it seems they come at the most inopportune time. Here, getting the opening kickoff, a good return, they immediately turn the ball over to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're beating themselves once again.
And on a veteran-laden team, Sanders, the rookie third-round pick wide receiver, causes the fumble. And their second-round pick, the linebacker, Worlds, recovers. So the Steelers will essentially start both halves with the football. Huge advantage. Gerard Mendenhall in the back. Roethlisberger throws to his tight end, Heath Miller. At 9 to the 16-yard line. Ben Roethlisberger making his 90th start of his NFL career. Only Tom Brady has a higher active winning record among active quarterbacks. John, what do you look for with Pittsburgh here?
Well, Ben Roethlisberger's got his own swashbuckling style. It's his 4th game back. He should be acclimated to the speed of the game. He wants to throw it more on first down, which you just saw there. Important that the Steelers capitalize in the red zone. They've really struggled here this year.
Isaac Redmond leads the way. Mendenhall goes right. Jomatopeko chasing him down from behind, a loss of a couple of yards.
That's one thing that head coach Mike Tomlin told us. We have got to run the ball better, especially to the right side. We've got Flozell Adams. We've got Trey Essex. We have a good young back in Mendenhall. There's no movement, nothing at the point of attack, and Cincinnati strings it out. That's not a good start for this offensive line.
Well, they end up with Isaac Redmond, number 33, as a lead blocker. He just doesn't get the job done.
Cincinnati sub 6 players. They go to 5 DBs. Their nickel package. On 33, it's Roethlisberger to Mendenhall. Good play design, and Mendenhall lowers the shoulder and sets up 1st and goal at the 2 for the Steelers.
Well, you said it, Mike. That was beautiful play design by Bruce Arians, the offense coordinator. You get the defense flowing away, and Ben just comes outside the pocket on the edge of the defense and hits Mendenhall on the perimeter with space. The design of the play got the defense flowing away from Mendenhall.
And against Ben Roethlisberger, you can't lose contain. And rookie defensive end Carlos Dunlap victimized there.
Heavy package, 3 tight ends, and Doug Legursky, the offensive lineman in the backfield on 1st and goal at the 1. And it's Mendenhall. Keeps the legs turning, and the Steelers capitalize on the turnover with an opening drive touchdown.
And that's a great start for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You get the turnover and you convert it into a touchdown. And this is old-fashioned Pittsburgh Steeler rock'em sock'em football off the left side. Good movement at the point of attack. Remember, Pittsburgh struggled knocking it in against the Saints last week in a goal line situation. That's a good finish of a drive.
Yeah, and they have David Johnson, the tight end, who comes in the backfield as a fullback, as a lead blocker. They have a lot of girth going through that line to create the seam.
Greg Warren snaps. Daniel Sepulveda, the punter, holds. Jeff Reed adds the extra point. There's his kickoff 2 minutes ago. That was fumbled by Bernard Scott. Led to a 4-play, 25-yard touchdown drive, Steelers.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Nissan. Innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation for all. The United States Marine Corps. Join ESPN Monday Night Football in celebrating the Marine Corps' 235th birthday. Happy birthday, Marines. Windows 7. And Corona, who invites you to find your beach.
This is not too far from the stadium. The rolling suspension bridge. You can walk across it, just reopened. They repainted it. Go from Kentucky to Ohio. Well, Steelers will be heading back to Pennsylvania, continuing to add to that turnover margin. Another one. They are plus 10 on the season. That guy Sanders, the wide receiver, forcing the opening kickoff fumble that led to a touchdown. So they'll try it again, this time from the 1. Bernard Scott holds on as he gets out close to the 25-yard line. That was brought down. So Carson Palmer's team takes the field down 7. Exactly 500. 44-44 in his career now. His 7th year as a starter. He says he's not bothered by the hip or the elbow or anything of the sort. It's been a lot of new parts trying to fit together for this offense.
Yeah, Mike, he's just been inconsistent. There have been times this season where he has played like an elite NFL quarterback, but there are new parts. Terrell Owens, Jordan Shipley, Jermaine Gresham, along with Ocho Cinco, who historically has been his go-to guy.
Cincinnati open with 6 offensive linemen, and they run Cedric Benson to about the 30, close to a 5-yard gain on first down. So Benson's back there off his good season a year ago. Thus far this year, 545 yards. T.O., one of the most targeted receivers in the league. Ocho Cinco needs a breakthrough game. Shipley and Gresham, the rookies. They'll do a lot of this no huddle with this offensive line. And the guy you need to watch here is the right tackle, 71 Andre Smith. John showed you earlier, the number 6 pick of the 09 draft, has struggled in his last 2 starts. After a gain of 5, a second carry for Benson. Got past the would-be tackle of William Gay, gets the first down at the 36-yard line. It goes against the Pittsburgh defense that is brutally tough to gain yards against. Ziggy Hood starting for the injured Aaron Smith for the 2nd straight week. Casey Hampton, the anchor in the middle. 4 outstanding linebackers. Woodley, former Defensive Player of the Year. Harrison on the edge with Farrier and Timmons. The corners like Taylor, Bryant McFadden, who came back from Arizona after last year, and Ryan Clark and Troy Polamalu communicate and work so well together, freeing Polamalu to be the great playmaker he is. Benson left. About 2 yards there. John, ball taken away. Didn't hear a whistle. Now they're coming in and say it was down by contact. So William Gage does not come away with a turnover.
I like what the Cincinnati Bengals are doing offensively. They're using a no-huddle offense with 3 receivers and 1 back. The Steelers have been in their nickel defense, and that puts their top run stuffer, Casey Hampton, on the sideline with head coach Mike Tomlin. That's why you're seeing the Bengals have some success running the football.
This is a 4th run. This is Benson to the left, and he gets close to the 45-yard line. So And they've run it well here these first 4 plays. Consider in the first quarter of the last 2 games against Pittsburgh, it's Miami and New Orleans, combined 9 carries, 12 rushing yards.
Take a look at the blitz coming off your right side, and Carson Palmer sees it, and he's going to audible to a run away from the blitz. And that's what a savvy veteran quarterback can do for you. He keeps it in optimum situations. That's a nice audible by Carson Palmer.
Got him to 3rd and 1. Palmer's first throw is incomplete. The coverage from Bryant McFadden, no flag, as the pass was intended for Chad Ochocinco.
Well, it's clear that Chad Ochocinco has to come back to the football. He had the single coverage. Once you press, come out of your break, work back to the football. You'll see it right here. Chad pushes, comes out that stem. Don't wait there. Don't allow the defensive back to come over the top. In this case, Chad Ochocinco just did not come back to the football, or it would have been a completion. McFadden knocked it down.
Kevin Huber had a look out. It's a kick block. Right up the middle. It was William Gay coming up with the block. And the Steelers will take over for the 2nd straight possession deep in Cincinnati territory. A special teams fiasco in the first 5 minutes for the Bengals.
Well, it's about as bad a start as you can get. Special teams are killing the Cincinnati Bengals. You fumble a kickoff return, and now you're going to see off the left side, watch William Gay. He's just going to come right through the gap between a guard and a tackle, lay out and block the punt uncontested. Pittsburgh Steelers are taking this game over early, and they're going to try to deliver a knockout punch to the 2-5 Bengals.
That was very slow getting that kick away. It looked slow, and it was. 2 seconds is good. It took about 2.2. Way too slow. After the first block punt of Huber's career, Roethlisberger. Incomplete for Hines Ward. Coverage with Leon Hall back there as the corner.
And once again, you see first down play selection for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to throw it. They've been running the ball almost 70% of the time on first down. Now that Roethlisberger's back, he says, let's change that tendency, Jaws. Let's throw it.
You're absolutely right, John. And the sudden change, you go for the jugular. All of a sudden, Bengals come off after a block kick. You got 5 guys playing hard. You got 6 guys taking it easy. Go for the big play.
They run towards that bunch formation left with Rashard Mendenhall. Great downfield blocks in the receivers inside the 15. First down, Pittsburgh.
Well, I like this preparation of the Steelers. It's that double-A gap blitz. Both linebackers in this gap. They're going to blitz. Roethlisberger says, go ahead, I'll run the ball outside away from the blitz. We're going to outflank you and punish you on the edge. Excellent preparation by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Mendenhall loves looks like that.
Yeah, and Chris Crocker, who's playing that edge, has to penetrate. Can't give him that corner that easy.
So those 3 receivers in the bunch formation to the left, and they block well. Now they're all off to the right for 1st and goal. Mendenhall is hit hard, loss of a couple of yards. Pat Sims came in to make the hit. And this is not the first of the post-whistle chit-chat you'll see here tonight. This rivalry is taking on a little edgy tone over the last year as the Bengals have played a little bit better. With Roethlisberger, we talked about Mendenhall. Very good first 4 games without Ben. Hines Ward is outstanding blocking and his overall ability. Mike Wallace, a big, deep threat. The rookie center Pouncey's taken every snap, and they're raving about him in Pittsburgh. Flozell Adams has been a weak spot at right tackle. 2nd and goal. Roethlisberger. Incomplete. Tried to get Ward. Man coverage with the safety, Chris Crocker.
Well, Roethlisberger loves this no-back offense, and that time, defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer all-out blitzes it. You're going to see all-out pressure, and Roethlisberger knows he's got his friend Hines Ward one-on-one. Then retreats, gets the ball up, and gives Ward a chance. Normally, you see Hines go up and get it.
That was a good throw by Ben Hines. Normally, just snatches that one out of the air.
Look for the Bengals to just rush 3 here. I expect a prevent defense. 3rd and long.
That's all they rush, John. Roethlisberger still pressured. Got rid of it to Mewelde Moore. Stiff arm on Leon Hall, but he's held over there at the 7-yard line officially. Field goal attempt coming.
Well, the Bengals did come with that 3-man rush, but they did get pressure on Ben Roethlisberger. And one thing about Ben, as John says, he's that big oak tree in the pocket. You will see the pressure come up the middle from Geno Atkins, but Ben can avoid the pressure, get the ball outside the pocket. Boy, he is just big. He's strong. You can't pull him down. And when you get on Ben Roethlisberger, you have to get on his right side, on his right shoulder, because he would just club people off or break tackles. Get on his right arm.
That's easy for you to say.
Of course, I'm up here.
Jeff Reed from 25. Been struggling this season. High snap. Good job by the holder, Sepulveda, to pull it down. And halfway through the quarter, 2 Bengals turnovers have turned into 10 Steeler points. Next Monday night, countdown starts at 7 Eastern, and we are just outside the nation's capital. See if we can drum up any storylines for Vic and the Eagles taking on Donovan McNabb and the Redskins.
Seems every time we go to Washington, there's some kind of controversy. It's shocking.
5-3 Philly, impressive in the victory over Indianapolis, 26-24 yesterday. Redskins were off. NFC East for Monday Night Football next week. Of course, the big news in the NFC East and the NFL today, the firing of Wade Phillips in Dallas. Third kickoff return opportunity of the first quarter. And just brought to the 25-yard line by Bernard Scott. Worlds and Ryan Mundy on the tackle. Well, down 10 against the Steeler defense means you got to do it in the air. Chad, T.O., and company going to have to get it going. Well, they only give up 14.5 points a game, and already you're down 10. The Steeler defense is daunting to face no matter what, let alone when your 2 special teams errors, 1 a turnover, the block punt not technically a turnover, but those miscues have put you in a hole. Second drive for the Bengals, that's Jordan Shipley, the rookie out of Texas, in motion. And Carson Palmer's pass to T.O. was in a lot of traffic and could have been another turnover. Well, we talk about this defense and the rush defense specifically. This is game by game. See that 75 by Tampa Bay? Remember it as you go to the last 3 games the Steelers have played. Nobody's run for more than 75 yards against them. First team in NFL history to hold their first 7 foes 75 or less.
Pretty amazing.
They ran it 4 times for 20 yards on the first drive. This time Benson gets only a yard as Troy Polamalu comes around to get him, and we'll have 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, Polamalu said, okay, Carson Palmer, you're going to run the ball away from the blitz. Go ahead, I'll run it down from the backside. But this Pittsburgh Steeler defense, take a look at him. He's going to get on the line of scrimmage. He times it just right, runs the play down. But this Steeler defense, unlike a lot of people that say, let's stop the run, and make a team one-dimensional, the Steelers go out and do it.
Only one lineman in a 3-point stance. Everyone else standing around, moving up, creating doubt in that Bengals offensive protection.
5 of them rush. Palmer throws to William Gay. Couldn't squeeze it. And the Bengals look awful to start.
Well, it's a passing game that looks totally out of rhythm right now. Palmer staring down Shipley. Ball is almost intercepted by Gay. The good part was there was protection.
Twin safeties go back. Near side, Emmanuel Sanders. Far side, Antoine Randall. See if Kevin Huber can kick one this time. That's an improvement. Sanders fair catching. Back at his own 28-yard line. He wanted to get going with that one. 45 on the boot. Steeler ball after this. Yesterday they had their Veterans Day parade in Harrison, Ohio, one of the nice towns right around this greater Cincinnati area. And on this Veterans Day, all cognizant of what all of the folks who have represented the U.S. in the armed services have done for our country, the USO, something very much on all of our minds. You can join the NFL and ESPN in support of our troops, wounded warriors, and their families, donating $10 by texting USO to 27722 or go to www.uso.org. Thanks to all of our troops. Roethlisberger in trouble. Finds Mueldy Moore. 3 yards to the 31-yard line.
You know, this offensive line of the Steelers is reshaped. Flozell Adams in here playing right tackle. Long career with the Dallas Cowboys. He hadn't played right tackle since he was at Michigan State 13 years ago. And keep an eye on center, Marquise Pouncey. They loved this rookie out of Florida. And boy, have the Steelers had a long legacy of centers.
Yeah, those centers, John, Ray Mansfield, Mike Webster, Dermontti Dawson. Seems to make it a center. He's here for a decade.
He hands him Moore up the middle. Gain a couple of yards.
You know, it's tough to be a center in this league, let alone a rookie. This young man is 21 years old. And to come in here in this crowd noise and playing a no-huddle offense with a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers is rare. And offensive coordinator Bruce Arians told us if we had a revote for captains, Marquise Pouncey would be an offensive captain. That's how highly thought of he is on this football team.
Bengals defense moving around, trying to confuse the blocking schemes.
Third and 5, they rush 4, and Roethlisberger complete for the first down.
There's that guy, Randall L. Jaws. They went back and got Randall L. from the Washington Redskins because he can come in off the bench, throw the cape off, and make a play to convert a third down. The Pittsburgh Steelers brought back Randall L., Larry Foote, Bryant McFadden, 3 former Steelers that are playing critical snaps. That's a big third down conversion.
And that offensive line you were talking about, John, they gave Ben a lot of time.
Ben covered downfield, so he tried to go forward. He'll not lose a yard, almost gain of a yard. As Carlos Dunlap, the rookie out of Florida, and Michael Johnson meet at the quarterback.
Well, when you play against Ben Roethlisberger, you have to play your rush with contain. You'll see the nice job by the pass rush of the defensive line staying in their lane, not allowing Ben the freedom and space to move around.
Steelers this drive, giving the Bengals a taste of their little no-huddle medicine.
Here comes that double-A blitz again, and Ben Roethlisberger sees it.
A run, it's Mueldy Moore into the waiting arms to Honey Jones. So Cincinnati's up there in that spot on either side of the center with that double-A pressure a lot, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're coming all the time from that look.
No, they have a litany of things that they can do from that alignment, and a lot of it is blitz. And Ben Roethlisberger's been conservative early. He's audible to runs on both occasions.
Now here they're overloading to the right of Ben Roethlisberger, and teams have had success against the Steelers offense with their blitz packages. The Saints had success last week, and last year in the 2 games against the Steelers, the Bengals had success.
Ben didn't like the look there. He takes a timeout, and I saw 72. Jonathan Scott over there at left tackle. He's in for Max Starks for the moment, and Starks has a foot injury that they are looking at. Max has already missed a game this year, 4-year starter on that revamped offensive line you were talking about, John.
But you know, one of the things, Mike, with this Cincinnati defense is they just have not been able to get any kind of pass rush at all from their defensive line. So defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer has got to blitz, whether it be the double-A blitz package or right here, he's going to put 5 Cincinnati Bengals on one side of the formation. And Ben Roethlisberger says, whoa, Nelly, I've never seen that defense before. These 2 teams know each other extremely well, and the preparation is intense. It's year-round. And every time these 2 teams play, they show each other things that they've never seen before. There's a good one by Mike Zimmer.
There's that double-A sugar again.
Third and 6. Everybody comes. Roethlisberger keeps the play alive. still alive and finds Heath Miller, who's just shy of the first down. Vintage Roethlisberger there, but they're 1 yard shy of it here across midfield.
I'm talking about get on his right arm, bring him down. You just can't bring this guy down at 6'5", 241 pounds. You'll see over there at the left tackle spot, number 72, Jonathan Scott. But watch Ben. I mean, here's his right arm. He can't get him down. We got Michael Johnson on him. He can't bring him down. Big Ben is big. He's strong. And look at the vision, spinning around, finding a receiver.
They go to punt. It was a full yard. Daniel Sepulveda kicks it. Fair caught by Quan Cosby at the 11. Cincinnati's defense stops the bleeding. Up 10. Pittsburgh. It's been one of the biggest ongoing topics of this season, concussions in the NFL. And fair or not, the poster boy for the fines and the big hits has become Steeler outstanding defensive player James Harrison, the defensive player 2 years ago in the league. Fined $5,000 for that Vince Young hit, $75,000 for that hit on Cleveland's Mohamed Massaquoi, and last week, $20,000 for this hit on Drew Brees. The concern and the continued fines brought Harrison to New York on Tuesday of this past week to meet with NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, who is here at the game tonight on separate business. It's a coincidence that he's here watching the Steelers and Bengals here tonight. And in the conversation, Harrison, as we visited with him last night, was very frustrated. He didn't get closure, a complete answer as to why do I feel like I'm being targeted as the poster boy for these hits. And it's something that continues to be on the minds of all the Steeler players. Even soft-spoken Troy Polamalu spoke out defending Harrison this. The Steeler defense takes over at the 12. Against Carson Palmer, goes down the middle, caught by Terrell Owens. At the 28, Cincinnati gets a first down. Guys, when we sat with James Harrison, your thoughts on what you heard from him last night? I heard a frustrated, angry, still guy.
You know, but he's a very good football player and a hard football player, Mike. He's not a dirty football player, and I think that needs to be said.
Run by Benson to the 32-yard line, John.
Look, James Harrison is intense. He's very focused, and he's a very regimented guy, and he wants to do right. He's been trained to play 100 miles an hour, and that's what he's doing. And all those hits that you saw, okay, those are subject to disagreement. Now, we don't all disagree that those are illegal hits. I think Harrison wants to do right, and he's not a bad guy. He's a fun guy to be around, and he's very emotionally, I think, disturbed by the reputation that he has right now.
Good run by Benson. It's a first down to the 41-yard line. One key point on this whole deal, and we sat with Mike Tomlin, there's confusion for the players. The defensive players are trying to find a target zone. What's the safe place to go with their body? And sometimes when the running player
here's what happened.
himself,
if I'm James Harrison, I'm coming after John. My target is right there. He's got the ball. I go to there. He goes down. He hit heads. I mean, how can that be a defender's fault? The defender's problem. I'd like to smash you, by the way.
I'd knock you out.
That's the frustration of all the defensive players, especially with this Steeler team. And Mike Tomlin pleads, hey, I'm a big supporter of this initiative for safety. Let's let common sense reign as well. And so the discussion continues. Bengals trying to sustain the drive. Benson gaining a couple of yards. And to that last point, when we talked to the commissioner before the game, and he was on Monday Night Countdown with Michelle Tafoya, he said he's just trying to make everybody aware. Good sound technique will prevent some of the injuries that happen when guys lead with their head. So Harrison, who told us that sometimes it's hard to find the way to play the right way now, goes out there with the Steeler defense trying to do it his way and the right way all at once. Quarter was about to expire. The clock stopped for a second. Now we are at the end of the first quarter. After one in Cincinnati, mistakes on special teams by the Bengals have them down 10. Quarter number 2, Paul Brown Stadium, Cincinnati. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Ron Jaworski, Susie Culver on the sideline. 10-0. The Steelers on top. 2 special teams miscues, a fumble on the opening kickoff return, and a blocked punt gave the Steelers great field position and the 10 points. Chad Ochocinco, Terrell Owens, just 1 grab so far. Chad got rolled up on blocking a moment ago. He's staying in there. The run with Benson. He goes to the 47-yard line. Here's what happened just a couple of plays ago.
Well, when you run the ball on the perimeter, your wide receivers got to keep those legs alive, and sometimes they get rolled up on. He's lucky he's okay.
Hey, Jaws, what about the play mix here? 9 rushes, 4 passes for the Bengals. Surprised?
No, not at all, Mike. In fact, I like the fact that they're not panicking. They fell behind 10-0. They didn't get into throw ball mode.
Carson Palmer throws, very short completion to a guy he's very excited about, Jermaine Gresham. Harrison and Timmons tackle the rookie tight end out of Oklahoma.
Well, you're used to seeing James Harrison make plays when he's attacking the quarterback. But now Dick LeBeau has him dropping off in coverage. He has vision on the quarterback. He sees the ball thrown. Good tackle.
But you have to wonder about the play design. You have 3rd and 4, and you run a 2-yard drag route. You got to push it up to the first down yardage.
Kevin Huber gets it away. Good hang time on this one. Antoine Randall lets it go, and it will be downed at the 1-yard line by Andre Caldwell. So Huber had one blocked the first time in his career. His 50-yarder leaves a long field for the Steelers.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by GMC. Vote for the GMC Never Say Never sweepstakes for a chance to win a GMC Sierra Denali at gmc.com/NFL. AT&T. We think possible. At NFLshop.com. The best place for holiday shopping. The official store of the NFL.
Kentucky on your left, the Ohio River in the middle, and then over to Cincinnati. Right here on the river's front. 99 yards for the Steelers to go. Drive start at the 1. Isaac Redman is back there with Mendenhall. And he'll only gain a yard. Forward progress to the 2.
You know, the Cincinnati Bengals have given up more 80-yard scoring drives than any defense in this business. And it is key that they get off the field right now and give their offense good field position. Last week against Miami, I saw the Dolphins go 95 yards, and it looked too easy.
An injured player there for the Steelers that they didn't see on the bottom of the pile there.
It's a Kemoyatu.
Yes. This Kemoyatu, the left guard starter, injured. Timeout. Chris Kemoyatu limped off the field. Doug Legursky's the new left guard.
Keep an eye on Mike Wallace at wide receiver. 23 yards a catch, and they love to throw deep, backed up.
2 deep safeties. I don't think they would get it if they tried it, John.
Roethlisberger out of the end zone, throws for Miller. The tight end got it at the 14. First down as Ben was hit by Domatopeko.
You talk about throwing a receiver open. Watch Roethlisberger as he sets up in the pocket. There was nowhere to throw the football. You'll see the throw right here to Spaeth and just throws away from the coverage. That is quarterbacking 101 right there, as you saw Dhani Jones on the inside, threw the ball to the outside.
Mendenhall, it's out through the hole. Mike Wallace on the edge. Gave him a little more space, and Mendenhall takes it to the 37-yard line. Another injured Steeler behind the play. It's the center, Pouncey, I believe, who's injured now.
Wow, this offensive line has just been snake-bitten.
Pouncey, who has played every snap. They only have 7 offensive linemen dressed tonight.
You'll see him right there, number 53.
Very late. In a lot of pain. So they look the rookie out of Florida, Pouncey. Back here in Cincinnati. And Pouncey, the center, was down throughout the entire time we were away. Just now getting up and being helped off by the Pittsburgh medical staff. You see the rookie has started every game. He's taken every snap. Roethlisberger talking to him as they come over, favoring the right leg. And you saw earlier on this drive an injury to Chris Kemoeatu, the left guard. So Doug Legursky came in for Kemoeatu, who's going to have to move over. He's the center, was a center in college, has played very little center in his first year in the NFL, now his second season.
Yeah, they're pretty thin on the offensive line. They only had 7 offensive linemen up, so you've got a couple guys. Legursky and Scott were the backups, and you're down to 5 linemen right now.
The run got a first down out to the 36. And Ben will just throw to Hines Ward. Little bubble screen, only going to get a yard. As Dhani Jones, the middle linebacker, tackles Ward, who has another game with a reception.
What's that, 186 straight games?
Yes, it is, 186. That is now alone in third all-time in NFL history. Terrell Owens had a streak that stopped last year in Buffalo at 185. Add that for Ward, he's now at 186, 4 behind Marvin Harrison, and just a few away from Jerry Rice. Amazing for a guy who was a quarterback in college, the all-time leading Steeler receiver, Hines Ward. Gets another one from Ben. Good tackle in the open field. The ball came out. Leon Hall forced the play, forced the turnover. Cincinnati ball. Hines says he was down.
That's the big break that the Cincinnati Bengals needed. The Pittsburgh Steelers throw more quick screens, bubble screens, than most teams I've seen. Watch Hall go down. That ball is out.
Not even close.
And that's an impact turnover for the Bengal defense. Now it's up to the Bengal offense to cash in.
And John, you talked about those bubble screens, those smokes. Ben Roethlisberger so far this season, 22% of his completions have been on or behind the line of scrimmage. So they do that a lot. That forces the corners and safeties to make plays. For the Bengals, they did.
The recovery by Roy Williams. The opportunity for Carson Palmer. Play action with Benson. Terrell Owens, 24-yard line.
I
Game
like
14.
that. Play action pass. They've been running the ball with success on first down. Now here's a play action pass. You put Terrell Owens in the slot. Watch him push up the field, sit down, and Palmer throws the ball accurately. Nice job by T.O. plucking it.
Once again, sudden turnovers. Be aggressive.
Steelers go 5 DBs. Benson for a yard. Right up the middle, Lawrence Timmons the tackle. Terrell Owens had a very productive start. He's been targeted a lot by Carson Palmer, and everybody said, every person we talked to, you know what, he's been great. He's been terrific. No whining, no complaining. It's been a good experience.
But you know what he says? I'm 36 years old, and I can still play. He got right in my face and let me know I got a lot left, and I'll show you. I don't take any days off, and I'm still a big-time receiver. I believe him.
Benson right. Cedric. It'll be third down coming up. Well, you guys watch the tape. You watch these games leading up. Do you believe what he says? Does he still have it?
Absolutely, Mike. I looked at all the tapes, and, coming into this game, he had been targeted 86 times, the most of any receiver in the National Football League. He was working hard. He was running great routes. Doesn't give you a whole lot of effort in the running game, but he can catch the football, and he's a big body guy. Carson Palmer loves throwing to him.
Brian Leonard's checked in for 3rd and 5. Running back next to Palmer. Steelers bring only 4. Palmer down the middle. T.O. TD. joining Jerry Rice and Randy Moss, the only men who've caught 150 touchdowns in the history of the National Football League.
Outstanding job by Carson Palmer. Saw the middle of the field open. He knew that he was going to have T.O. with a little stutter move going down the middle of the field wide open. Now you're going to stick it right to the outside, go over the top of William Gay, and a perfect throw from Carson Palmer. You got the one-on-one matchup with the middle open, the quarterback, wide receiver, see the field through the same eyes.
Extra point added by Mike Nugent. The Hines Ward turnover forced by Leon Hall, cashed in by a TOTD. The Bengals back in it. Terrell Owens' touchdown reception gives him 150, 3 behind the former Viking, now Tennessee Titan, Randy Moss, and Jerry Rice at the top of the list at 197. And you can say a lot about the career of Owens, which has taken a lot of paths, a lot of stops. He's put himself in a lot of controversy through the days with San Francisco and Philadelphia and Dallas and Buffalo, but he has remained productive. And touchdown 150, his 6th on this season, has put Cincinnati back in it. You see Jerry Rice on that list with Terrell Owens when he was drafted by the 49ers. 3rd-round pick in 1996. That time with Jerry Rice was the foundation for a great, productive career. Emmanuel Sanders, kickoff return, Pittsburgh. Cross the 20, and the kicker Nugent shows him the sideline at the 31. More on T.O. and what he learned from his time in San Francisco with Jerry Rice.
He strived for perfection. This is something, it's funny we're talking about this because I was just talking to Chad about this just yesterday. This guy, I mean, he went for perfection. I mean, when you see him run routes, I mean, it's unbelievable.
John, that's what he told you on the bus as he visited with us on Saturday, and you heard and saw a lot of that passion that he learned from Rice and still brings to the game.
No doubt. He's been a lightning rod for a long time. A lot of people talk about the things he doesn't do well. 150 touchdowns, 12,000 yards. Give me 2 of those guys.
You'll win.
All right, the backup center, Legursky, is in there still for Pouncey. There's Mendenhall running left, nowhere to go. No gain. Steelers have a problem up front. Susan Culver on the injuries up there.
Yeah, Mike, they're down 2 starting offensive linemen right now. Standout center Marquise Pouncey was taken to the locker room. He was favoring his right leg. No report on him yet. And Chris Kimayatu remains over in the bench area. It's a right knee injury. He's questionable. We're working quite a long time on getting him retaped. He's trying to get back in.
All right, Suze, and that's it. As Jaws said before, they only dressed 7 linemen. 2 are out, 5 are playing. 2nd and 9, they pressure Roethlisberger. Pick up by Mendenhall, but Crocker breaks up the pass intended for Hines Ward, and now Cincinnati has a little belief here.
Yeah, they're picking up their tempo right now as Ray Mauluga coming on the blitz. You'll see him right here. He's coming after Ben, but he does get picked up, but Ben feels that pressure. Mendenhall picks it up. You had Dhani Jones coming on the trail blitz, but you get a sense the Bengals feel a little rhythm going right now, picking up the blitz and heat.
Keep blitzing if I'm Cincinnati. I have the cover corners to do it.
And you're getting it, John.
Ben pressured, faking, now throws downfield for Randall L. Broken up by the combination of Hall and Crocker. 3 and out. Cincinnati D.
You better be real careful throwing the ball down the field against these secondary people of the Cincinnati Bengals. Leon Hall has 4 picks already. Here comes a blitz right up the middle. Ben gets out of trouble. He doesn't see it down the field, throws it up, and Leon Hall has ball skills like a wide receiver. That's a big 3 and out for Cincinnati.
Lefty Sepulveda got his best kick. 37. Quan Cosby made a great catch. Wow. I mean, you want to talk about a fingertip catch.
He looked like a center fielder.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he was one.
He was. Baseball player, highly drafted. Man, does anything get past you? Woo, Quan. Red, sign him up. From Paul Brown Stadium, Cincinnati, our aerial coverage tonight brought to you by DirecTV. It's the 11th season here at Paul Brown's very tall stadium. The sound comes raining down. It was loud in here last year when the Bengals swept the division. They beat the Browns twice, the Ravens twice, and the Steelers twice.
The Bengals come out with that heavy formation, 6 offensive linemen on the field.
Palmer play action on first down. Has time. Has Owens again. Gain of 11. Let's go back to the last catch, an Owens TD.
Oh, you want to see a nice touchdown pass, a real good design. Take a look at William Gay, the nickel back, and Terrell Owens in the slot. T.O.'s going to beat Gay right down the middle, but the reason is you have Chad Ochocinco getting double teamed, and that opens up the middle of the field for T.O. That's Batman getting an assist from Robin. That's what I want to see.
A little background music.
Number 41 went to the right for Benson's going to be -2 yards. As that Steeler D, led by Nick Eason and Lamar Woodley, make the play. You know, you guys talked about Chad Ochocinco, the 6-time Pro Bowler. Nobody's caught more touchdowns as a wide receiver for the Bengals than Chad. I spoke to him on the field before the game. He's frustrated. He's so used to seeing the ball come his way a little bit, and he's trying to be patient because he understands his double coverage gets those kind of plays to Terrell Owens. And he said the guy keeping him upbeat, positive, and people are going to chuckle when I say this, is T.O. T.O.'s the voice of reason.
Yeah, keep drawing the double teams.
You should be frustrated because you're 2-5.
There's another shot for Owens, complete. He gets the first down, lost the ball, and it seemed to be live as a flag is down. Gresham picked it up. We have not had a penalty yet tonight. Rare, as we have Ron Winter as our referee this evening.
Holding. Offense number 77. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
That's the left tackle, Andrew Whitworth.
Seemed like a late flag as well. Let's take a look. See Harrison coming off the edge. Whitworth right on him. I mean, that's not holding. Sorry. Try to corner. You see Harrison trying to corner. Whitworth went down with him.
Well, instead of a first down picked up by Owens, it's 2nd and 22. Third and 4. Palmer's throw to Gresham. Tackled by Polamalu. 3rd and 15 after a Sports Center right now. Here's Trey Wingo.
Michael, thank you. Big news earlier today. Wade Phillips fired as the head coach of the Cowboys after the 1-7 start. Jason Garrett gets the head coaching job as an interim position. Paul Pasqualoni promoted to replace Phillips' other role as defensive coordinator. Something you guys were talking about earlier. The NFL fined Packers safety Nick Collins $50,000 for this helmet-to-helmet hit on Roy Williams of the Cowboys in Wade Phillips' last game. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Trey. League very swift action on that, but no fine on that hit on Austin Collie that happened in the Philly-Indianapolis game. 3rd and 13, Palmer has protection, and he throws an interception to Lawrence Timmons.
That's just puzzling right there. That's what head coach Marvin Lewis told us he really didn't understand. There are times you just have to give up on a play and punt the football. The blitz is on. They handle the blitz. There's nobody open. You have to throw the football away. Watch the blitz coming right up the middle. You're going to see Reggie Kelly handle it flush, but you can't be late down the middle and throw the ball into traffic. That's inexcusable.
Well, that's not a throw Carson Palmer should be making in his 8th year. Triple coverage. Don't throw the ball in there. John, you're right. Throw it away and punt. Sometimes the best play.
Animated post-play conversation about the communication between Owens and Palmer. Roethlisberger on first down, still with the offensive line problems. A gain of a yard or 2 by Rashard Mendenhall. We've seen this very often with Chad Ochocinco post-play with Palmer over their 7 years on the field together. This time it was T.O. in conversation. Rare that Palmer has been intercepted by the Steelers for all the turnovers the Steelers caused. Hasn't happened much against Palmer First time in 197 throws, too shy of the record against Pittsburgh, which Frank Ryan set back with the Browns when he was quarterback in Cleveland in the 60s. Mendenhall on the screen. Almost lost the football a second time. Could be 2 yards shy of the first down. Tahani Jones the tackle, and no changes, guys. Still the 2 starters out on the Pittsburgh offensive line.
You know, Mike, back to Carson Palmer. You're coming off the field and T.O.'s in your face, in your ear. That's one area I would like to see Carson Palmer pick his game up. Be more demonstrative and getting on his wide receivers. It seems like he takes that and doesn't give it. I think you need to start getting in their face and in their throat a little bit.
You mean go Dan Marino and tell him to shut up?
You're darn right. You're darn right.
Third and 2. Yeah. Then a shot from Mike Wallace. He lost the ball, but took a couple of steps. It's ruled a catch, and first down and goal.
The Bengals have not been good in short yardage defense. It's a predictable man-to-man situation. And there's the bullet, Mike Wallace, one-on-one with Leon Hall, and nobody in pro football can run with this guy. Maybe Deshaun Jackson or Chris Johnson, but Mike Wallace can fly. Question is, does he have it? I say give it to him.
Marvin Lewis will throw the challenge flag and challenge that. It looked good to me. Looked like he had steps. We'll see. Steelers are looking at first and goal at the 8 if this is upheld. The ruling on the field was a complete pass, and we'll take a few looks at it. My first thought live was don't challenge this. It's a catch.
Well, catching 3 steps has always been a catch.
It's fumbled, and it's fumbled out of bounds, which is just your ball there. He doesn't go to the ground. He's got pretty clear control of the ball there. It's a heck of a play by Hall to try to force the fumble.
You know, I coached a guy named Joey Galloway who could fly. Now, this guy here, Mike Wallace, he's got that kind of speed, Jaws. 4.33 they say he runs. And everybody that I talked to for the Pittsburgh Steelers said, this guy has speed that makes you jealous. I mean, this guy can roar. And 23 yards per catch. Look at that. That's unheard of. He averaged 19.4 last year. Those are the kind of electrifying numbers that Bob Hayes put together when he was shredding you back in the day.
Yeah, and we got in this discussion, was it who was faster? Mike Wallace, Deshaun Jackson, who can flat out fly. But it was interesting. The Steeler guys who have to play Mike Wallace thought that it was Mike Wallace.
We asked the corners there, Jonathan Joseph and Leon Hall of Cincinnati. Now, you talk about Wallace and leading the league in yards per catch. The last guy to do that in his first 2 years was Wesley Walker, the old Jet, 30-some-odd years ago. All right, Ron Winter has the verdict on this challenge.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. With the ball in his possession, the runner took 3 steps. Then the ball was dislodged by the defender. He fumbled it forward out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Ball will be placed at the 9-yard line. First down. Cincinnati is charged with a team timeout.
I agree with you, Ron. That's a good job by the officials.
The more,
what did you say,
Mike? The more time you spend with us, John, you're getting a good understanding of the rules here. You're starting to see how correct officials are. This has been very cathartic for you. They're going to move it to the 9, not the 8. Bengals cannot earn a third challenge, even if their next one is correct.
What was that word, Mike?
Cathartic.
Oh, thank you.
John's working on that. First and goal for the Steelers. Backup center Legursky snapping a flag.
False start. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
It's Trey Essex. He's one of the 2 guys still in his normal spot.
Yeah, but Mike, he missed 4 games. He just got back last week to play against the Saints. I'm telling you guys, Flozell Adams is a left tackle converting to right tackle. Trey Essex has missed 4 games at right guard. They're missing their center. They're missing their left guard. And Max Starks has had injuries this year at left tackle. And they've got a new line coach, Sean Kugler. How's that for transition?
Roethlisberger from the 14. Mendenhall works to the right. Going to lose a couple of yards. Tahani Jones
Well, these guys don't get the practice with the #1 group. But Tahani Jones is an instinctive middle linebacker. He saw that slow developing draw play all the way. Watch him scrape right over the top and make a form tackle. And good hustle on the backside by Frosty Rucker. It's tough when you lose a starter on the offensive line. When you lose your starting center and a starting guard, that's double trouble.
And as you can see, this is an area of the field where the Steelers have had problems this season, the red zone.
Mendenhall to the 8. We'll have 3rd and goal coming up.
Right here, these long yardage situations in the red zone, this is where you have to be careful if you're Ben Roethlisberger. The Bengals are notorious for rushing 3 and fanning the field with 8 defenders in the end zone. Don't be surprised if you see a screen, even a quarterback draw.
And the last time they came with a 3-man rush, it was Geno Atkins getting pressure up the middle.
Whistles. Timeout taken by Cincinnati. Marvin Lewis sprinting down to use his second. He'll have 1 left. With 2:12 to go. Marvin Lewis has been the longest tenured head coach in franchise history here in Cincinnati. You talk about sports leaders in Cincinnati. It was a sad week here in this area as one of the best. Sparky Anderson passed away on Thursday at his home out in California. Major League manager for over a quarter century, 26 years with the Big Red Machine. Joe Morgan, Johnny Bench, 2 World Series titles, and then to the Detroit Tigers, that great '84 championship team. Sparky Anderson, one of the nicest people, and they remember Sparky over at Great American Ballpark tonight. Light up the scoreboard and the stadium, that beautiful stadium there, in honor of Sparky. Win world championships in Cincinnati and Detroit. And very few people are beloved in both Michigan and Ohio, and Sparky was and will be.
A very cool guy. I had the pleasure of meeting him numerous times, spending time with him, a couple sports banquets, a class act. Going to be missed.
Third and goal. They drop 8. Roethlisberger throws for Ward at the goal line. He's in. Wow. Touchdown Steelers.
What a throw by Big Ben. It almost looked like he took a little bit off the ball and squeezed it in there. Got it in the only spot that he could get it to Hines Ward, who came underneath of Michael Johnson. Look at this throw. Can't throw any better than that.
You had 8 guys in coverage. Brandon Johnson is in the game as a nickel linebacker. You have to know that guy, Ben Roethlisberger, is going to look for Hines Ward in that situation. And they do what 2 great players do. They beat you.
That was a heck of a catch, too, to hang on, going to the ground, hands under the ball, maintaining possession. Reed on for the extra point. Hines Ward turned it over earlier. He atones for that. Only 1 Pittsburgh Steeler has more touchdowns scored. Franco Harris. Hines Ward his 83rd career touchdown as the Steelers extend the lead again to 10. (17-7) Steelers. Went to the super slow-mo as we were going to break there, and you saw it was razor thin as Hines Ward's knee came down at the goal line. That was the same angle that we showed in the replay before the extra point that was shown on the big board here. So Cincinnati saw this replay and had the opportunity to challenge if they chose to. Let's go to that max zoom. Those are the 36 cameras around the stadium all stitched together to magnify the image.
Well, you guys want to challenge everything, Jaws.
You know,
well, why not?
We're going to slow this game down to a screeching halt.
In the game. I mean, you challenge that one rather than the completion earlier.
Yeah, the only point there in question was he being contacted as his knee was down that millisecond before he crossed the plane? It would have been a very tight replay call. Bernard Scott took one back last year against the Steelers. Puts them in good position for a 2-minute drill with only 1 timeout. Short kick by Reed, returned to the Steelers 43. Scott's 46-yard takeback will give Marvin's team a chance to get back to single digits. Chris Berman, Chris Mortensen, Adam Schefter, Toyota halftime show coming up. Peyton Hillis and the other team in the state of Ohio, Cleveland. Good show. Fastest three with Boomer. The latest details from Morton Adam on the firing of Wade Phillips today in Dallas, and the update on Nick Collins, who was fined for the hit in that Dallas game on Roy Williams. Toyota halftime show coming up with Boomer and company. Bengals have one timeout. Start the drive in Steeler territory. Palmer, pocket collapse to Brian Leonard for a gain of 4 to the 39-yard line.
Multiple looks by this Steeler defense. These guys have played together a long time. Look for Carson Palmer to take one shot.
Up the middle pressure. Hit as he throws for Ocho Cinco. It's incomplete. William Gay came on the secondary blitz.
Back-to-back blitzes by the Steelers. This time William Gay got through here clean. That's unfortunate because Chad Johnson's wide open into the short side of the field for an easy first down on a clock stoppage. Now you have a critical third down because the Bengals are not in field goal position.
Time for Palmer. Nowhere close. Looking for Jordan Shipley. But there's a marker over there as Shipley was trying to get free. William Gay had the sack on the last play.
Illegal contact. Defense number 22. 5-yard penalty and a first down.
With the pressure. There's one defensive injury note for Mike Tomlin's team. Brett Kiesel, the defensive end, is out with a hamstring injury, and his return is questionable. They're already banged up at the defensive end spot.
Aaron Smith out. Brett Kiesel now out. Boy, the Steelers are getting devastated by injuries this evening.
I've been impressed with the Bengals pass protection, particularly right tackle Andre Smith at the top of the screen, who's done a nice job against Lamar Woodley.
Those Steelers sacks to this point. They deal with Harrison that time. The pass is caught by Leonard, tackled by Farrier. Minimal gain.
Boy, it looked like Jermaine Grisham was wide open in the middle of the field, and Carson just didn't have time to let it develop. Had to check it down.
Too deep, man under.
Second and 9. Palmer gets out of the pocket. Shipley can't keep the feet in bounds. Incomplete. Third down coming up.
And that's disappointing. It's too deep with man-to-man underneath. And that's where your slot receiver needs to come alive and win. That time, the rookie, Jordan Shipley, one-on-one with William Gay. And Gay did a nice job in coverage. But you have to be able to win as a slot receiver when it's man-to-man with too deep over the top.
Yeah, that too deep is the key, John. You could see you can undercut the route when you got help over the top and force a real tight throw to Carson Palmer. Still, you got to work the middle of the field here. It's that too deep shell with the middle open.
Palmer throwing for Gresham, incomplete. Tight end couldn't pull it in. What do you do from here? 33-yard line. A Mike Nugent field goal attempt would be a 50-yarder, and here he comes.
Well, again, it's too deep, and it's man-to-man underneath. You go to rookie Shipley on one play, then you come back to Grisham on another third down play against man-to-man coverage underneath. These young guys got to step up and win and make big plays.
Ohio-born, Ohio State alum Mike Nugent, 51 yards. The temperature's about 40. It's getting colder. Ball doesn't travel as far. Attempts like this, wide left, no good. So the kicking game in general, that's a 51-yard kick on a 40-degree night. It's not easy, but it's been a game of Bengal mistakes. They have been known as the Bungles before. Bernard Scott, the opening kickoff, fumble, led to a touchdown. Kevin Huber, punt blocked by William Gay. Steelers took a 10-0 lead on those miscues. And Carson Palmer, pressure in his face from Farrier, intercepted by Timmons. And then just a moment ago from 51. And on a cold night, you got to drive that and hit it hard. And Nugent trying to drive it, misses to the left. And the Steelers have a 10-point lead in the ball at their own 41-yard line.
And the problem is with that field position, now you flip the field in favor of the Steelers. They have 2 timeouts left, 45 seconds. Ample time for Ben Roethlisberger to move down the field, at least in field goal range. Maybe if you garner a touchdown out of this.
And Pouncey comes back in at center with that lower right leg injury. So the rookie from Florida back in there as they get one of their 2 injured offensive players back. Roethlisberger, wide open is Wallace at the 36-yard line. Dukwe with the tackle.
That's a great throw and catch right there. In the hole of cover, too. Wallace got a release, got back up in the void, and Roethlisberger stopped him with the throw. Nice concentration in a crowd.
Roethlisberger spikes it to kill the clock. They didn't use one of their 2 timeouts. 21 seconds remaining.
Boy, the one thing you just see with Ben, he can get the ball into those tight windows. I mean, he just barns strong in that pocket, and it comes out. Communication problem right now.
Well, the last Bengal play, when it's too deep and they're doubling Owens and they're doubling Johnson, Shipley or Gresham, they have to be able to win inside. And if the Steelers can double Johnson and double Owens all night long, those 2 young guys have got to win inside.
Led to the missed field goal. Pittsburgh hit 1 play. Roethlisberger for Heath Miller, incomplete as the pressure was coming on Ben.
Yeah, Chris Crocker coming to the left of Ben Roethlisberger, forced him to get rid of the football. He had a receiver open, but Ben just ran out of time in the pocket. That quarterback's clock was moving. He knew he had to get rid of the ball before Crocker got there.
Weldy Moore was trying to block for him, and he comes off as he's shaken up.
And a field goal would be huge right here for the Steelers. This is a down once again where the Bengals love to rush 3. Any check down, any kind of completion puts you in position for the field goal.
10, 4-man rush. Ben stepping up, firing down the middle. Wallace couldn't hold on. Hit by Ndukwe.
Well, you'll see Ben right here, and he's just trying to think, first of all, maybe I get a first down. Maybe I move us closer for the field goal, looking down the field. Now he steps up. That's what Ben can do, expend the play, and just got the ball a little bit higher. They got to make that catch. That's on the hands. Got to make that catch, Mike.
And Wallace has made the plays down the field. Remember, they have to replace Santonio Holmes, a guy that's made a lot of plays for the Steelers over the years.
Bengals missed a 51-yarder. This is a 53-yarder from Jeff Reed, would equal his career long. And Reed on line and makes it. One team makes their 50-plus yarder, the other one misses. And a 6-point swing at the back end of the second quarter. Jeff Reed, who has been criticized around Pittsburgh for missing several field goals. He had only made 1 of 6 field goals from 40 yards or more. But Mike Tomlin told us last night, I've got confidence in my guy. I believe he can make 50-yarders. He said a lot of people miss field goals to that open end at Heinz Field.
There's a ketchup bottle there.
There's the 40-yarder. There's the 45-yarder against the Ravens last week in the Dome in New Orleans. A 51-yard miss. It would have put them up a couple of scores. It would have put them up 6-0, really, a couple of field goals. But tonight, on this cool night, drove it low and nailed it from 53.
You know, Mike Tomlin, he knows this guy was 5 for 5 a couple of years ago in the postseason, and he drilled this one.
Boy, special teams blunders by the Bengals this first half have really killed them. Fumbles, block punt, missed field goal. Give the Steelers a short field to work with. They will take advantage of it.
Huge swing. Instead of 17-10, you're looking at 20-7 at the half. Pittsburgh will get the ball, start the third quarter. And Cincinnati down by 13 in game they have to have to avoid going 4 down in the division at the halfway point. Toyota Halftime Show. Here's Chris.
Monday Night Football. Pittsburgh showed their true grit, while Terrell Owens put on a show. Will the Steelers stand tall? Will the Bengals break through? The Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cincinnati Bengals on Monday Night Football. The rivalry rages on. Oh, it's a man's game.
And it's quarter 3 here in downtown Cincinnati. See the red tone, Great American on the left. Slide on through here to Paul Brown Stadium, where the home team's got some work to do. They are in some trouble, not just in the game, but in their season here, Jaws.
You know, they got to open up a little bit. I really believe that. I thought they ran the ball with some effectiveness early in the game, but it's 20-7 now. If the heartbeat of your team is your quarterback, Carson Palmer, Ocho Cinco, Terrell Owens, open it up.
I agree. Bob Rutkowski's been here a long time as the offensive coordinator. He's been with Palmer. If anybody knows the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's that guy right there, and offensive coordinator Bob Rutkowski. Throw it, get back in the game, and defensively, let's get some pressure on Roethlisberger. We need 1 turnover, and we're back in this game.
They've gotten pressure. They just can't get him down.
He's like an oak tree, I'm telling you. See the size of this guy, Roethlisberger?
Yeah, he's 6'5",
like a power forward.
Pounds.
Emmanuel Sanders awaits Mike Nugent's kickoff. And special teams problems have dug the hole here for Cincinnati in the first half. Sanders, the rookie out of SMU, took it from the 4. And returns it out to about the 27-yard line. Here are the stats from the first 30 minutes. Cincinnati ran it 12 times for 44 yards. Pittsburgh 12 for 47 yards. Steelers getting more in the pass game. Those takeaways, a couple. Steelers turning them into points. And the average starting field position. Significant as Pittsburgh had 2 turnovers where they took it over in Bengals territory, and then mathematically erased that with a possession that started at their own 1. But those 2 that started on the mistakes, miscues by Cincy, gave Ben short fields, and they got up early 10-0 and lead by 13. The center, Marquise Pouncey, back in as he was at the end of the first half. Randall L. coming around from the end to gain 2 yards. Frosty Rucker out of USC made the tackle.
And that's a college play. That's the jet sweep you see all over college football. They put Randall L., an ex-quarterback, in jet motion, and they hand a perimeter sweep right off the left side. That guy right there, he's thrown 25 passes in the NFL. He can line up in a lot of positions. I remember a touchdown pass in a Super Bowl a few years ago he threw.
You know, that jet sweep, though, you see the speed of the defense in the NFL pulls it to a 1-yard gain.
Mendenhall loses 3 yards right into the waiting arms of Keith Rivers. So Cincinnati's defense with 2 early good plays.
Yeah, and Mendenhall does a great job of protecting the football. He knows the importance of not turning the football over. Watch a minute there's contact. You'll see it right here. Here comes the collision. You need to protect the football. He does and leads with his shoulder. Now here's the touchdown. Watch it, he gets in traffic. All you Pop Warner players out there in traffic, wrap the ball up with 2 hands. Protect the football like it's a block of gold.
There's that double A-gap pressure right up the middle.
One comes, one bails. Ben in trouble. Got him. Ndukwe forced Roethlisberger back. Big sack. And the Steelers 3 and out to open up.
That is a huge play by the Cincinnati Bengals defense. They not only had the A-gap pressure, they had pressure from the left of Ben Roethlisberger. You'll see it coming from Ndukwe. He gets the pressure. He forces Ben to move and waits for his good friends to come along. But it takes 3 of them to get that big oak tree down.
Game 8, sack 7 for Cincinnati. Sepulveda kicks to Quan Cosby from the 35. Turns to the 43-yard line. Brought it back 8 yards. So the defense does its job. Chinuda Ndukwe. Pressure from the secondary, forcing the sack. And Cincy takes over with good field position.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Campbell's. It's amazing what soup can do. Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at mbusa.com. IBM, let's build a smarter planet. Visit ibm.com/smarterplanet. And ESPNshop.com, where you can get all of your official NFL sideline gear.
Fountain Square, downtown Cincinnati, 43 feet tall. Used to see that start WKRP in Cincinnati. Remember that TV show? Dr. Johnny Fever? There you see the Bengals. They're the only team, and they've done it twice, to beat the Steelers when Pittsburgh's led by more than 10 points in the last 23 years. Benson starts with a carry, so they did it last year. The Steelers obviously with a double-digit lead. But it's amazing. 23 seasons, go back to 1988. Dick LeBeau's been here for a lot of them as the defensive coordinator for Pittsburgh. Only twice has the team come back. And it's been the Bengals both times. Pressure right up the middle. Farrier brings down Palmer.
Father Time. James Farrier, 14th season. He's late to show this blitz. He comes up on the line of scrimmage right before the ball is snapped and runs right up the A-gap between the center and the right guard, and nobody touches him.
Well, Cedric Benson had no shot. When your quarterback's under center, you got to move around the quarterback. Farrier shot the gap, was right in there, and Benson had no chance to get a helmet on him.
Third and 13. Palmer with time. Finds Jordan Shipley. They blocked that time. A pickup of 25 for the rookie out of Texas.
And William Gay is the nickelback covering the slot receiver. Terrell Owens beat him for the touchdown. Now Shipley in the slot once again. See Palmer looking down the middle of the field. He knows he's got the middle open, just waiting for Shipley to get in there. Finally beat Gay and found the opening.
Well, it's that two deep man under.
Yep.
These young guys got to win inside. Great job by Shipley.
How about the protection?
Chad Ochocinco without a catch here tonight. Got rid of the gold shoes from the first half. Benson runs left for a couple of yards. So you saw Chad. It was easy to spot in the first half. He was wearing gold shoes. It was gone back to
this right tackle, Mike. Andre Smith has done a great job blocking two premier rushers in this football game. Take a look at him. Fan all the way to the top of the screen against Harrison and wash him right by the quarterback. This young guy has been a work in progress, but he's really stepped up tonight.
This is definitely a pressure look from the Steelers right here. And Carson trying to check into something that he can get some protection.
Shipley. Polamalu comes over the top to get him. Well, the pickup will make it third and about 2.
You know why you draft a guy with the 6th pick in the first round? You draft him to block these guys. And watch Andre Smith in the first half against Lamar Woodley. This is Lamar Woodley, a Pro Bowl every down outside rusher. And Andre has done an excellent job moving his feet, anchoring down, and he's shown very good stamina. His conditioning has been questioned. A lot of things have been questioned, but he's responded tonight. I like what he's done.
Steelers jumping all around up front. Benson left. What a play. Swimming in by Lawrence Timmons. His penetration at first contact will force about a 45-yard field goal.
Well, this Steeler defense coming into this game giving up 2.6 yards per rush. It is difficult to run against this 3-4 defense, particularly when you got this line and then you allow your linebackers to run free. You'll see Harrison right there. Get off the block of Whitworth and make the play.
And Harrison was the one who ended up getting hurt on that play. And the 2008 Defensive Player of the Year shaken up.
Boy, the guys, you see Dick LeBeau, the players love to play for this guy because it's all about pressure.
The 4th down coming up, but the bigger concern for the Steelers right now is the injury to Harrison. James Harrison had his own player fall on him. He got up as we went to break. Mike Nugent on for a 45-yard field goal attempt. Missed his first one from 51. To the left. No good. So Nugent, who had 3 good years with the Jets, struggled in 09, bounced around, played for a couple of teams, finished out in Arizona, won the kicking battle in the offseason, has missed both long field goals to the left. It remains 20-7. There you see James Harrison, Steelers medical staff looking at him. Watch me here, guys, on the left side. He makes the tackle on Benson on that 3rd and 2. His teammate Chris Hoke, his teammate Troy Polamalu fall on him.
Look at the effort by the Steelers. I mean, there's 4 or 5 white jerseys on the ball. Fortunately, it looks like Harrison's going to be fine, but he's in the bottom of a pile there.
Well, it was 2 missed field goals instead of 20-13 being a 1-touchdown game. They're still down double digits. And a run by Mendenhall. Good first down run for Rashard Mendenhall.
Well, they love to slam Mendenhall off the right side. Remember, Willie Colon is no longer there, but they got big Flozell Adams. And they have this 22 duo where they get a double team and another double team and a kick out by Hines Ward, and they slam Rashard Mendenhall at the defense repeatedly. He loves that play. 22 duo. We get 2 double teams at the point of attack. Good young back.
The one that beat Atlanta in overtime.
Mendenhall runs to the right. No gain. Josh, you talk about Mendenhall had broke that specific play for big touchdown runs a couple of times, including the game winner in overtime to beat the Falcons. You look at Mendenhall. Remember, he came in at 08. We were there on a Monday night, and they played Baltimore. He met Ray Lewis, cracked his shoulder. Short circuit in that first season, but over 1,000 yards last year. On his way there this year, as Mike Tomlin termed it last night, a developing feature back. Likes everything Mendenhall's done now in his 3rd season. 3rd and a couple. Isaac Redmond comes in. He runs to the right, trying to get that short yardage, and at that spot, it's going to be 4th down. Looks like he was stopped. Jonathan Joseph off the corner with good pursuit.
Well, this Bengal defense has come out here and played pretty solid to start this second half. Actually, they played pretty good in that first half. You know, the Steelers were the beneficiary of great field position offensively in that first half, but the Bengals defense is rallying.
That's one thing the Steelers don't have is a pure fullback. They use David Johnson, the tight end, in that position a lot of the times. I've seen Redmond play fullback. I've seen Spaeth in there. It's a problem for them. That fullback in their 2-back sets.
Juan Cosby from the 12. Nice job of coverage by the Steelers. Essentially no return for Cosby, as Will Allen went down to make the tackle. Past halfway through the 3rd quarter, 13-point Pittsburgh lead. Well, it was great to watch Joe Paterno win number 400 on Saturday, beating Northwestern. Number 401's a tough task. The biggest city in this state. In Columbus, taking on Ohio State, part of the regional.
But right now, it's time for Pittsburgh to finish Cincinnati with this drive.
Mendenhall moving a couple of backs, of tackles. Got back to the line and got a couple of yards. We watch Roethlisberger here in his 4th game back after the suspension. They were 3-1 during his 4-game sit down. Remember, it was a 6-game league suspension for violating the personal conduct policy going back to the sexual assault complaint in Georgia this past March, the civil suit in Nevada back in 09. It was reduced to 4, and Roethlisberger spent the time away from the team, worked very hard. And every player you talk to, coach or player with the Steelers, said Ben has come back humbled and a much better teammate. Keeping it there, he will be close to the 1st down. Trying to drive it into the 46-yard line. It is a 1st down. And Mike Tomlin said it best, and so simply, as he so often does. You know what? When you have something like that happen, it's going to change your outlook on life and your approach to things. And anecdotally, players talk about here's Ben playing ping pong in the locker room with the guys, really being part of the group and not above the group. And they've been encouraged by what they've seen since he's back.
Yeah, and I saw it in Ben, and we met personally with him on Sunday yesterday, and I've been texting him all along while he was having those issues, and I think he's a guy that has matured.
Throw for Heath Miller's complete for a gain of 6 yards to 40. And Jahani Jones stops it, and we'll flip ends here for the fourth quarter.
Sometimes it takes adversity to strike you back into reality, and I think Ben Roethlisberger's going to be fine. I really do.
No scoring in the third. Off we go to the fourth quarter from Cincinnati. And the Steelers lead by 13. Roethlisberger, two-time Super Bowl winner, taking the Steelers to 3 AFC title games in his first 6 years, now in year 7. Hands to Randall L., who, as mentioned, has completed 20 of 25 in his career. Hits Mike Wallace for another one. Pittsburgh touchdown.
Mike Wallace and the trickery of Randall L. We talked about it earlier in the game. It's a jet sweep. And Randall L. is going to reverse his field and throw the football. Watch it.
We'll see it right here. He spins back around. Roethlisberger on the block. I mean, it probably should have been intercepted. The ball was underthrown. Leon Hall in perfect position to make a play. But Wallace located the football. Hall did not. Wallace makes the catch.
Well, Chris Crocker comes out of the game, and you see Reggie Nelson have a hard time filling in there and finding the football.
Jeff Reed adds the extra point. That is the 5th passing touchdown in the regular season for Antoine Randall L. He's 21 of 26 throwing the ball. He threw 2 during his 4 years with the Redskins. Had thrown 2 in his first 4 years stay with Pittsburgh. There you see the numbers. It's the highest percentage in NFL history of all the guys who've thrown 10 or more passes. Antoine Randall L. improving on that. Didn't throw 1 last year, but does this year to put Pittsburgh on top by 20.
Watch Roethlisberger, though, sealing the edge. And how about that form? I love Randall L., Indiana Hoosier. But this kid, Mike Wallace, remember, the Steelers lost Santonio Holmes. And that's a lot of offense in a Super Bowl MVP and big shoes to fill in for. But this young man has come in here and exploded onto the scene for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's just what they need at this time of year. Mike Wallace to step up on the outside. That'll take pressure off of Hines Ward and Heath Miller on the inside. And this running game, Ron.
Yeah, they do a great job, John. As soon as they cross that 50-yard line, you get between that 50 and that 30, man, and they take their shots. You know, they know how hard it is to score when you get in that red zone inside the 20s. They take their shots when they cross the 50.
Well, that one was from 39 yards. 43 yards was the most famous Randall L. pass, the one in the Super Bowl that he threw to Hines Ward in Detroit, winning Super Bowl 40 that closed out Seattle. Kickoff return by Bernard Scott. Takes it out shy of the 35-yard line where Cincinnati will take over. This is a Bengal team that has traditionally found ways to build up expectations in football love in Ohio and let folks down.
Oh, you know what potential is?
About ready to get beat?
Potential. You know what it is? I think the Bengals have a lot of potential. And potential, you can't play it. You can't see it. It means you've never done it. And there's a lot of guys on this Bengal team that really have potential but haven't lived up to it. Production, however, is what the Steelers are playing with. This is a veteran football team loaded with productive football players, and that's the difference in this division. The Steelers are loaded with productive NFL players. The Bengals have some guys that are just living with potential right now.
Yeah, but a couple years ago, that potential was realized. You know, they beat them twice. The Bengals beat the Steelers twice a year ago.
Palmer's pass is incomplete. You know, you talk about that, John, and you think of Gresham, Shipley, they're young players. Smith, the first-round pick, the right tackle, he's a young player. Carlos Dunlap on defense. You're always talking about what these guys showed bits of in college. When will they come to the forefront? Then you look at the Steelers. You know, their average age on defense is 30 and a half. It's the oldest starting defensive group in the NFL. Shipley over the middle with the catch. And he's a yard shy of the first down. That speaks to that point you're making, John, of the guys who are experienced with a flag down. I'm thinking of Baltimore in this division as well. Veteran guys who have done it over and over.
Well, you've got guys, Michael Johnson on defense, Carlos Dunlap, young players, Keith Rivers, a linebacker. We've talked about Andre Smith, an offensive tackle. Young guys that have big upsides and potential. And all potential means, Ron, is you haven't done it yet.
Tripping. Defense number 56. A 10-yard penalty and a first down.
All potential does is get you beat. You have to realize that potential. You know, we hear it every week when we talk to coaches. Mistake-free football wins. You watch these Bengals all season long. 2-5 coming in. Turnovers, mistake. You watch them tonight. Turnovers, mistakes. Offense, defense, special teams. They're beating themselves. Their wounds are self-inflicted.
And then when it starts to unravel, how do you keep your poise? You saw Andrew Whitworth, the tackle, in an animated conversation with Chad Ochocinco, setting him back over to his spot. Owens complete a yard shy of the first down.
You can call trick plays, gadget plays. You can take shots. You can do a lot of things when you have a defense like this. Here's the Elite 11. I've heard that thrown around a lot. This is the Elite 11, this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. They can play the run. They can play the pass. They have a multiple blitz scheme. They're loaded with veteran players, and they have depth. And I wish you luck when you play these guys.
Would you say Dick LeBeau knows what he's doing? Absolutely.
Palmer from the 38, complete to T.O. again. It's catch number 7 for Owens, who earlier caught his 150th career touchdown pass.
When Carson Palmer sees those isolation routes on the outside, in other words, you know, you got one-on-one on the outside with McFadden, he's going right out to T.O. T.O. can still beat the one-on-one just routinely. Now you're going to have to roll the coverage to him. Someone else has got to make a big play. Gresham has got to make a play. It's got to happen with Shipley inside. Someone else has to contribute.
Pressured up the middle, Farrier hits Palmer, who throws for T.O., who's got another touchdown.
What a spectacular throw by Carson Palmer. There was pressure on him. He anticipated, threw the ball. Meet me at the pylon, as Tim Gilman used to tell me. Throw that receiver to the pylon. Ball, receiver, meet in the corner of the end zone, touchdown. You'll see the pressure right here. Clean, James Farrier up the middle. Palmer knows he has to get rid of the ball early, throws it to the pylon, and T.O. makes the catch.
Well, those are two veteran players. Those are two productive players stepping up in crunch time. What a throw. Great route and concentration by T.O. You will not see a better throw than that from Carson Palmer. Big time.
Somebody better alert those security guys to turn around. Oof, took a shot.
Nugent extra point, 27-14. Cincinnati needed a score, gets back in it. Total touchdown, 154 for Terrell Owens, who's tied with Randy Moss, 4th on the all-time list.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by New Windows Phone. It's time for a phone to save us from our phones. Lexus, this is the pursuit of tomorrow. This is the pursuit of perfection. And NFL.com. Vote for the 2011 NFL Pro Bowl exclusively at NFL.com/Pro Bowl.
It's a Great American Tower at Queen City here in downtown Cincinnati. The tiara they put up there. All lit up tonight. Cincinnati showing off its finest. Bengals trying to respond. Terrell Owens catching his 2nd touchdown of the night. 151 receiving in his career, 154 all time. 5 games in a row finding the end zone. 2-score game with 13 minutes to go. Emmanuel Sanders from the 5. Well covered, brought down at the 14, just a 9-yard return. Brandon Johnson made the tackle. Well, the Steeler offense thought they slammed the door a moment ago. They'll get another shot at it with a 13-point lead. Steelers offense has had a good night tonight, even with a bunch of injuries on the offensive line, leading by 13. Richard Mendenhall looking for space, going to lose a yard. See if T.O.'s second touchdown of the night is going to inspire the Cincinnati defense. Tomatop Peko among those stopping.
You know, this Bengal defense has given up a couple big plays, but for the most part, they've been rock solid this evening. They need a stop here.
Jonathan Scott, 72, still in from Max Starks, who injured his foot. Marquise Pouncey, the center, went to the locker room in the first half with his injury, his leg injury, but has returned since the last drive before the 2-minute mark of the first half. So Mike Wallace quick. Shy of the 20s, brought down by Brandon Johnson.
That's double A gap, all out blitz again. That time Ben Roethlisberger says, I'm going to abort the play, pick it up, and throw it to my friend Mike Wallace. Take a look at the pressure. It's coming from everywhere. Off the edge, Roethlisberger picks it up, beats the blitz, and tries to get Wallace a one-on-one on the outside. Good hustle by the Bengal defense.
Mentioned Chris Crocker was hurt at safety earlier. Reggie Nelson, the backup, former Jaguar, is there. 3rd and 5. A lot of guys coming from Ben's left. Roethlisberger steps up, takes off, gets 12 yards and a first down at the 32.
Mike, you nailed it. They were coming from Ben's left. He saw the crease in the defense to his right. He aborted the play and just took off for the first down. Solid NFL quarterbacks will anticipate where the holes in the defense will be. Watch Ben, the pressure to the left, he steps up to the right, and there's the spacing. He knows he can get the first down. This is a very intuitive play by Ben Roethlisberger. Once he broke the pocket, he knew he needed 5 for the first down. Got it, and then get on the ground.
David Johnson, the H-back, leads Mendenhall to the hole. Getting a couple for Richard on his 15th carry of the night.
When the Pittsburgh Steelers get rolling on offense and rolling as a football team, they dominate time of possession. And to do that, you need to convert third downs. This quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, finds a way to convert 2 or 3 third downs on his own every week with his legs or his escape ability. And he just breaks your will with his creativity at quarterback.
Play action, Roethlisberger for Heath Miller, intercepted. Roy Williams stepped in front of it. They're ruling him down by contact. Williams down by contact, back near midfield. Miller comes up with the interception, or Williams comes up with the interception, and the Steelers injured as well. It might be Heath.
Well, this one got away from Ben a little bit. You'll see the ball come out real funny, and this one's hanging, and Roy Williams drove on the ball. The minute it left Ben's hand, it had no zip on it. Roy Williams closes and makes the play.
It's not Heath, it's Isaac Redmond who's injured.
What a catch. I think Michael Johnson might get in trouble here for a personal foul of the Bengals.
They're over immediately to look at Redmond, who is...
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 71 of the passing team. Took a swing at an opponent and missed. It's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
That's on Flozell Adams. So that's going to add to where the ball was near midfield. The concern for an injury is for Redmond of Pittsburgh, and we have a timeout. All right, there's good news for Steeler fans. Isaac Redmond, who was down for a good part of that timeout, and there was a bit of immediate concern if he was knocked out or not. You'll watch 33 after Roy Williams makes the pick. He hits Williams there and immediately goes down after that helmet contact with the shoulder of Williams. Williams was ruled down by contact. This was after the whistle blew. The pick was on the other side of midfield. There was a 15-yard penalty way, way, way away from the ball in the action that tacked on. So Cincinnati, all of a sudden, completely out to lunch, has gotten a wake-up call. They got the ball and a chance to make it a one-score game here at the 10-minute mark, fourth quarter. Palmer, pressure picked up. Throws. Chad Ochocinco never caught it, and he took a lick. Incomplete. Pressure came from Casey Hampton, and there's a flag down there back by where Hampton was going at Palmer. I don't know how low he went. Let's see what the call is back here.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 98 defense. Hit to the knees of the quarterback, 15 yards and a first down.
Well, remember, Carson Palmer, very sensitive to this. In the playoff game 4 years ago, Kimo von Oelhoffen hit him low, took him out with an ACL injury. The Tom Brady rule was put in a couple of years later after Bernard Pollard, then of Kansas City, hit Palmer. I don't know if he could have held up there.
They've been consistent with that call. You go low on the quarterback, you're going to get the flag.
From the 21, Palmer for Terrell Owens. Incomplete, going for the hat trick. But a flag. Flag thrown late, not from the official standing right by the play, the side judge, but thrown by the back judge.
Wow, that was late. But the flag is there.
Pass interference. Defense number 24. Because the foul occurred in the end zone, the ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. First down.
Wow, that's that quick count again. They run double go. They try to snap it before the Steelers are ready. And Pittsburgh is unraveling. That's 3 straight penalties. A personal foul on Adams, a big penalty, and now a pass interference call sets up first and goal at the 1. And wait till you see the size of this fullback.
This is the heavy jumbo they have in there now. Domata Pecco in at fullback.
Pecco 6'3", 320. Blocks for Benson. Nowhere to go.
Yeah, you're going to earn this touchdown against the Steeler defense.
That guy, Terrell Owens, has been a difference maker tonight. Wow, he owns Monday Night Football, guys.
He wants to get back on the field. We might have to put him back out there. We got the goal line personnel in there, so T.O.'s on the sideline. All big bodies in there for the Bengals.
Benson again. Toward the goal line. Waiting on a signal. A couple of Bengals are celebrating in the back of the end zone. We have no signal yet. Touchdown.
Reverse pivot, just a lead right behind Pecco, the fullback.
Oh,
did you see that lead block?
Man, that was on Troy Polamalu, and boy, was there a collision.
And now the mettle of the Pittsburgh Steelers will be tested. Remember, last year, they went on a 5-game losing streak at midseason and struggled to hang on to leads in the fourth quarter. This will be a good test for the Steelers.
Nugent has missed 2 long field goals tonight. Bangs through the extra point. And those of you thinking of turning in for the night after a long day of work, stay up. Good stuff late night here.
Don't be a barn burner.
T.O.'s ignited this team. And the Bengals within 6.
What's up, Stuart Scott with you coming up on SportsCenter, the GMC postgame report. Full highlights and analysis of a game that's going down to the wire. The latest on the Dallas Cowboys firing Wade Phillips. And in NBA, Dwight Howard says we still own the Hawks. And Mike, you know me, if it's under 45, the gloves come out.
Absolutely, Stuart. Well, the game is on here. Pittsburgh Steelers trying to hang on here. Team that had problems in the fourth quarter last year. Now down to a 6-point lead with lots of time left. 9:05 remaining. Mike Nugent kicks. Emmanuel Sanders from the 3. Good contact by Reggie Nelson to the 28. Things get hairy down by the goal line, but this takes the cake.
Well, you got to watch this collision right here. Domata Pekka, watch him right there. Oh, my goodness, on Troy Polamalu. Let's take a look at it. Real speed.
Oh,
I mean,
Domata, oh my gosh. That's big time.
Wow. That's football. He get them all fired up. Domata's got the hands waving, the hair waving. Everything's going on now.
The
now
defending
these Bengals
NFC
fans are into it.
Mendenhall. For about 8 yards. Rashard Mendenhall over 60 yards on the night. Ray Maualuga with the tackle. Well, we talked about over the last 23 seasons, when the Steelers are up by 10 or more, they're like money in the bank. Regular season, only 2 games they've lost with leads by 10 or more. Both were here in this stadium in 01 and last year when Cincinnati came roaring back. The late touchdown pass to Andre Caldwell was the difference maker. 23-20, Cincinnati won last September. Mendenhall went out the back door, got the first down. Roy Williams made the hit. After Maualuga closed the front door, but it's a first down.
Well, Mendenhall has been terrific making yards on his own. The Bengals defense has been getting great penetration into the backfield, and Mendenhall's just been making people miss to gain a couple yards. Here you'll see Bengals in the backfield, Maualuga in the backfield, Sims in the backfield, but Mendenhall makes people miss and gets the first down.
Well, this is the defending AFC North champion, the Cincinnati Bengals, with their back against the wall, and this is the drive of the season for this Bengal defense. More pressure right up the middle.
Ben's checking out of it.
And a run with Mendenhall again, and a gain of nearly 9 yards. So when it matters most here, Pittsburgh is lining up and running it hard and effective.
That's about the 4th time that Ben Roethlisberger has audible to a running play against the blitz. That time he saw both linebackers rushing right up the middle, and he audibles. Watch him to the right side. I'm not running into that. I'm going to run way outside and get away from those 2 guys. Well done.
Well, and the bubble in that defense is right over Flozell Adams, so that's where Ben ran the ball.
2nd and 1, Mendenhall into the secondary again. Mendenhall to the 33-yard line. He has been very impressive after contact. Good cuts, 18 yards there.
There's a lot of guys making plays up here, but Mendenhall is running hot. And it starts, too, with Hines Ward. Look at that block on the backside. I tell you what, Hines Ward, he's at the point in his career, I got enough catches. I've got over 900. I've got Super Bowl titles. I'll throw blocks if I have to. That guy's a winner right there. What a block.
Approaching 6. Mendenhall again. Stuffed in the hole by Dahani Jones. I love your conversation about Hines Ward there, John.
Well, Hines Ward, he does more than just catch passes. Watch him come in motion and come backside and find Roy Williams and allow Mendenhall to cut that play back. That doesn't show up on his stat sheet, unfortunately. That guy is one heck of a football player. He does it all for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
What does show up is on Monday when you look at the tape and the players are high-fived in the meeting room when they see your wide receiver making blocks like that on the interior of the defense in the running game.
Three more for Mendenhall to the 30-yard line. He's carried 6 consecutive plays. This entire drive has been all Mendenhall, an all physical punishing drive, and it's showing on the Bengals defense.
All attitude right now. The Steelers came back after this. They had their lead cut to 6, and they said, we're going back to Steeler football. A man on a man on a man, and knock them off the ball.
Bengals are going to blitz here. They have to knock the Pittsburgh Steelers out of field goal position. And Jeff Reed, I'm sure, is waiting on the sideline with another chance to ice a football game. I would expect a lot of pressure here.
Here they come, and it's a gun run with Mendenhall, who is stopped by Reggie Nelson. Nelson's in for the injured Chris Crocker. And you know what, guys? Mendenhall was looking to come off. The tank was empty after those 6 physical punishing carries. And he stays out there, and now we're going to see a Reed long field goal attempt.
Yeah, but Reggie Nelson does a terrific job of anticipating this inside trap run. He knifes right under the pulling guard. That's Doug Legursky there, and he made the play. Excellent job by Reggie Nelson.
That's why Doug Legursky's a backup.
There you go.
We showed you
touchdown.
We showed you earlier, Reed has struggled with long field goals. Made one from 53 earlier. This from 46. This is wide left, and the game's still on.
John, you said it.
That's amazing. Jeff Reed has struggled from the beginning of the season until now, and give the defending AFC North champions credit. And right now, the Cincinnati Bengals must be thinking 4 downs. You've got 3:59 left. There's plenty of time. But if they get the ball across the 50-yard line in relative down and distance, Carson Palmer is going to use all 4 downs.
Guys, this franchise started in 1933, the Steelers. Something that's never happened to them. They've never blown a big lead as they had here tonight. We'll show you the specifics of it in a second. Palmer from the 36. In trouble, lost the ball. Recovered by the backup tight end, Reggie Kelly.
Carson Palmer has got to get rid of the football. Sooner or later, that pocket is going to collapse. You don't need the 50-yard play. If you don't have it downfield, get rid of the ball, Carson. The Bengals are very fortunate right here to recover the football.
Lamar Woodley with the pressure.
Look for Shipley in the slot. 2 deep and man under again. Gresham or Shipley have to win.
That is caught by Jordan Shipley. It's a gain of 6. What I was saying, guys, they've never lost a game when they have led in the entire history of the franchise by 20 points. They were leading by 20 tonight. So you go back to 1933. Wow. And there were not very good Steeler teams until the Chuck Noll era began in 1969. There were some bad teams there. So 179 and 1 tie is their all-time record when they've been up by 20 or more.
So they have to work the middle of the field here. Working those hash areas, not going to get the first down.
Palmer holding on to it, gets rid of it. Benson hung on. Benson first down.
Well, the stars aligned on that play. Carson Palmer in trouble. Saw Benson just barely got rid of the football as he's being grabbed by Woodley. Look at that duck coming out. Ferrier tips it up. Benson with incredible concentration. First down, Cincinnati.
How's that for a 3rd and 15 conversion?
Yeah, that's how you design them, John.
Here comes the pressure. Gay picked it and knocked Palmer down as the pass was incomplete. Same blitz they ran earlier. William Gay sneaking in, comes inside the outside linebacker and gets to Palmer untouched. 2-minute warning in Cincinnati. And the Bengals come back from down 20 against the Steelers.
The first meeting saw Michael Vick go down and Donovan McNabb conquer. The scene is set for round 2 in the nation's capital on ESPN's Monday Night Football.
Vic McNabb, Eagles, Redskins, and a bunch of different storylines and drama await there. Donovan goes up against his old team, trying to figure out if his new team loves him enough. We'll see you next week. Business to do here. Bengals down 6. They were down 20. Steelers have never blown a 20-point lead to lose a game in franchise history. Palmer throws. They want a flag. They got it. It was intended for the rookie tight end Gresham. Mike Taylor got there a quarter of a second too early.
Well, it's a zone blitz, and Dick LeBeau out of a timeout dials up a blitz.
Pass interference. Defense number 24. Penalizes the spot of the foul. and a first down.
But it's a zone blitz, and Ike Taylor's a trap 2 corner. He's going to trap the flat defender, and he jumps the ball. He got there a tad bit early. Big first down for Cincinnati.
And really big. Instead of 3rd and 10, even though you only gained 2 yards, it becomes 1st and 10. Owens has scored 2 touchdowns tonight. Palmer throws complete to Brian Leonard. The running back gains 9 yards. Well, Cincinnati's doing everything to hold back those rushing guys off the edge. Palmer's done this 17 times, 3 of them against the Steelers. Rally with a drive in the 4th or overtime to win it.
And this is what the Bengals did last year. They made dramatic plays at the end of games to win.
Up 20, all their timeouts. Owens gets the first down. Gets out of bounds at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, very smart play by Carson Palmer. He seemed the corner with about an 8-yard cushion on Terrell Owens. Just popped up and threw him the football. Get the first down.
With all this 2-deep coverage, I'm surprised we haven't seen Owens in the slot like we did earlier in the game and give him a chance to make a play down the middle. That's where the hole is, as you've said all along, between these 2 deep safeties.
Pressure walked in, picked up. Palmer throwing for Ocho Cinco. Couldn't get there. Ike Taylor covering. It was James Farrier who forced it out of Palmer's hand quickly.
Yeah, there was really never any definition to the route for Carson Palmer. He had to unload the football. Ocho Cinco got his release to the inside. Carson threw it to the outside. You could see the pressure from Farrier, but clearly he was thinking, I need to get some definition. But you see Ike Taylor plays outside. Ocho Cinco was inside. Palmer threw it back to the outside.
Chad Ocho Cinco, only once in the last 128 catches has he been held without a reception. He doesn't have one here tonight. Collapsing pocket, Palmer, T.O. took a shot and held on.
Boy, John, you called it. Get T.O. in the middle of the field.
That's where he belongs. What a great catch.
Timeout taken with 1:01 to go.
Watch this right here. What toughness on Terrell Owens' part. The undercut by McFadden. Polamalu over the top. A laser from Carson Palmer. First down, Bengals.
What a night for Owens. His last 5 games have been terrific. That was his 10th catch of the night. He's got 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. In his last 5 games, he's getting these fans all fired up. Look at those numbers for Terrell Owens. Eye-popping numbers. Go back to a stretch like this. Torrey Holt in 2003. The last time you've seen somebody have this kind of a 5-game run. And now he has Cincinnati in the red zone with 2 timeouts and 1:01 to go, trying to take the lead.
Carson Palmer is going to come out of the huddle and use all the clock. He's going to take this shot clock down to about 3 seconds. He's going to try to decipher the coverage, and the Bengals are going to come out with a trips formation to the field. And if they isolate Chad Johnson up here, one-on-one, that's where he's going to go with the football.
Chad Ocho Cinco at the top.
Palmer got rid of it for Gresham. Incomplete. Trying to work the 2 rookies down here with Gresham and Shipley. We have a penalty marker down.
Yeah, they look like rookies, Mike. They ran into each other.
There's a hold here, Cincinnati.
Holding.
Yep.
Offense number 40. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
On Brian Leonard. They've been on the hairy edge of a holding call on many of these blitz pressures. Just trying to give Palmer a second to throw the ball.
T.O. singled up down below. I can't believe they're going to take that chance.
Polamalu's the safety back there. Now they change the coverage and drop back. Palmer's pressure, just getting rid of it, out of bounds, as he felt the heat coming.
Well, I thought Carson Palmer had a shot to Jermaine Gresham down the field. He was singled up on James Ferrier.
You have 3 downs left. It's 2nd down and long. Any kind of completion to get you back in a convertible situation is big right now for the Bengals. Dick LeBeau is mixing it up, and you have to be alert for Shipley in the slot. They're going to get to a maximum protection here. Gresham's in the backfield. That should allow them to get Palmer protection to work in the slot.
2nd and 20. He's got time here, and he throws to Ocho Cinco. Ruled a catch. Last 2 minutes, any reviews automatically happen, triggered by the replay booth. First catch of the night's a 15-yard gain. Does set up 3rd and 5.
All starts with pass protection. They did a nice job pass protecting, and Ocho Cinco makes an excellent catch on the sideline. He got it down.
Yep. As the ball is a knee down, goes to the ground, maintains possession all the way through. So it's 3rd and 5 at the 12. You have 2 plays to get 5 yards to keep the game alive. 12 yards to take this game to a tie.
They hit Owens earlier in the game with a touchdown in this same formation.
Palmer, end zone, incomplete. Thinking the same thing as Polamalu was going back there with T.O. And you have Owens and Ocho Cinco and Chad Palmer and all this talent on offense. You had hopes built by the Bengals. Marvin Lewis was the coach of the year last year. They won the AFC North. They swept all the division games. But if they do not convert here on 4th down, if they don't win, they'll fall 4 games back with 8 to go and essentially be out of it. We don't want to say the season comes down to this snap, but it's pretty darn close. They rush 4. Palmer throws. Shipley had it, lost it. Incomplete, but a marker's nope, no marker down. No marker down.
James Harrison again.
He and Ike Taylor meet at Shipley, and Dick LeBeau, the 73-year-old Hall of Famer who used to be the head coach here in Cincinnati, sees his defense come up with the last stand to get the victory.
There's a lot of coverage on the outside. You throw the ball into the slot receiver, Jordan Shipley. The ball's on his body, and watch Harrison dislodge it to save the day for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Good play call, good design. You had the motion, you had the rub element, you had Shipley open. He couldn't hold on to the football. As John, as you said, Harrison coming from the backside knocked it loose.
And we talk about James Harrison and all the hits. That fierce hit, very legal. James Harrison playing the way he's always played. Dislodges the ball from the rookie at the end of the game. Timeout taken here by Cincinnati with 28 seconds left. You know, guys, you see a wild finish happening here. Something the Steelers had never seen happen, almost blowing the 20-point lead. And you watch Dick LeBeau walk out there with his arms raised. Do you know where he was 40 years ago today? He was on the Detroit Lions team that had Tom Dempsey kick the longest field goal in NFL history, 63 yards at the gun to beat him. Dick LeBeau's been a part of the NFL that long. He was a player for those Lions teams. Now he's done a great job over the years as the Pittsburgh defensive coordinator. So the Steelers will join the Ravens as Cincinnati takes its final timeout. 6-2 atop the division.
This one really stings the Bengals. A frantic comeback.
There you have it, boys. Both teams 6-2, 2-1 in the division. Baltimore has the 3-point head-to-head win in Pittsburgh. Their return match comes up on December 5th. And that'll do it. So the Steelers survive.
He was waiting one more time. I'm just gonna give it to him before.
A furious comeback by the Bengals in the 4th quarter to win 27-21. Cincinnati's lost 5 in a row. They're 2-6. And they go to Peyton's place to see the Colts next week. SportsCenter's coming up next on ESPN. Full recap from here with Stuart Scott, Matt Millen, and Steve Young. With John Gruden, Ron Jaworski, Susie Colburn, our great Monday night team, Mike Tirico, good night from Cincinnati. It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Eagles, Redskins from D.C. next Monday night.
See you next week in Washington.
ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.